Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce someone on stage who actually gave me my first experience of getting in a car, which is kind of pioneering technology in a driverless race car, a company called Roborace. Now, the CEO is also a racing driver, so I'm not entirely sure why he is the CEO of a company that might put him out of a job, because obviously a driverless race car versus a racing driver does have interesting attributes. But he is also a Formula E driver. He's raced in Formula 1. He's raced in the World Endurance Championship. He actually raced in Formula E last weekend, so 2 days ago on Sunday in Zurich, and won his race. But he is here as the CEO of Roborace. So please put your hands together and welcome Lucas de Grassi.
Thank you. Hello. First, it's a pleasure for me being here. Amazing venue, amazing technology. And I'm going to introduce you guys a little bit of what we think will be the part of the future of motorsport and why we are doing it. So I've been introduced by Nikki. Thank you very much. And this is a video of what is Roborace. If we can put the sound, yeah, thanks. So this is our company. We build two separate cars. We build one car, which is the robo car, which has no space for drivers. It's a purely AI functioning car. And we build this dev bot, which is based on a traditional prototype car with the same technology, but you can fit a drive in. So the driver can actually teach its driving technique to the AI partner, let's say, and we can collect and interpret this data in a much better fashion. So we built these two cars. They're outside. You can have a look after the speech if you want to see it more. But before that, let me just go back a step to explain why we're doing it. So 1886, this was the first horseless carriage, as they called the car back then. And it was not so sophisticated, but actually revolutionized. I think the talk before was just a little bit about that, and just revolutionized the industry. And 10 years after that, we had the first car races. And car races, what they did, through competition, a lot of new technologies were developed. So the technologies were pushed in competition, and then later, they were used in commercial products. On top of that, the public got more confidence on the product that they would buy because they saw these cars racing in extreme conditions, extreme speeds, and gave the public the confidence to buy or the status to buy a sports car, as it's called. So racing has this property of confidence, technology, trust, and a market value. So these are a few technologies that were directly invented for racing and then lately transferred to the road, to commercial products, like carbon fiber, injection turbo, and so on. So this is where I want to really get the focus out of everyone, the motorsport was super relevant to the commercial technologies, which is not the case anymore. Why? Because 10, 15, 20 years from now, all the cars, they will be autonomous, and without driver, there is no racing, or at least the racing, they lose a lot of their appeal. So what we are trying to do now is we want to keep the motorsport, at least a niche of it, relevant to the commercial industry. But it's tricky because, like Nikki said, oh, I'm a racing driver, I'm pushing for autonomous technologies. Autonomous technologies will happen, or autonomous driverless cars will happen anyway for pure economic forces. What I'm trying to do is to keep motorsport relevant for those technologies. The big inflow of cash in motorsport is from manufacturers, and they will only put this cash in if motorsport is relevant. So how are we going to do this? We want to, through competition on the AI side, stimulate breakthroughs, improve in controlled environments. That's very important. So everything we do are on racetracks, are in events in which everything is prepared for a crash. It's very unlikely that somebody's either hurt or something out of our control can get through. So we're using racing tracks to compete the AI drivers and make it better. On top of it, we need to make sure that it's exciting for people to build this confidence. How can you put your child on a driverless car to go to school if you have no, or if you don't have 100% confidence that those technologies actually will take him to the school in a safe way? So we have to inspire, we have to produce the technology in the right way with the right combination. But of course, autonomous cars, still a long way to go, and we had to develop ourselves. There's nobody in the world so far that has built an algorithm or an AI racing car. So we spent a lot of time and effort and resources on building these technologies ourselves, but in the future we want just to regulate it, we want just to promote it and let the teams compete against each other. So these are the two cars which are outside, the DevBot and the RoboCar. We are at the moment doing 4 major programs: human and AI competition, multiplayer platform, all the challenges, the interactive entertainment. We want to use augmented reality in motorsport. We want to use VR also for multiplayers, for the gaming industry. The media content, we are pushing a lot to expose what we're doing for the public, general public, so they understand what we're talking about. And the 4th point is which I want to really focus on here, because I see a lot of the technologies that could combine of what we are doing. So we want to be the first open source platform for improvement in autonomous tech. So anyone in the world could contribute and test their algorithm in our platform. We don't want to own the IP. We don't want to own the technology. We want to own the event. And we want to make sure the technology evolves as fast as possible. We want to crowdsource the community. So on the platform that we want to produce online, we want anyone, a teenager on the suburbs of India comes up with a good solution, it can test in real time in our online competitions. If that solution is good enough, we will give access free of charge to the cars to see if that solution is actually really better. So crowdsourcing community, different solutions putting together, the educational outreach, and the virtual twin. For us to produce a very precise model on the virtual world, we needed to understand what was the requirement from the sensors, from the cars, from the hardware. So that's why building the car was so important. We could understand what the car was doing to create our virtual twin of the car in the real world and have a very high correlation of what we're testing there and what was happening in our virtual simulated world. So where do we stand now? We've done a lot of events, a lot of races, and just last month in Rome, we did a competition of a human versus a machine. We took a professional drifter, invited him to come to the Formula E race in Rome, put him in the car, he did a couple of laps, he jumped out of the car went by itself, and we saw the difference in lap time between those. And I'm going to show you the video that what happened there. Any corner that you break too late, do that, do that. No, it's good. Yeah. I want to finish this talk to say that we are a UK-based company. We have our office in London. We have our workshop in Banbury. We are hiring. We want students, PhDs, professionals, companies that are working solutions to come and join us. We're going to start our Roborace season alpha next year in 2019 with few teams, few cars competing against each other. Will be a competition in which there is a partly of the human driving the DevBot, teaching the machine, and then machine driving itself. So a competition of the human element plus its AI teammate. You can put it this way. And we want to progress with the championship as the technology evolves too. So we are very proud of what we've achieved. We are a company of around 55 people right now, and we expect it to grow up to 100, 110 people by the end of next year. So thank you very much for have listened and for your time. And yeah, I'll be after we have a small panel. I'll be on the speakers lounge for any other further question or other further detail. But please be in contact with us. Thank you very much.